Hello guys, and welcome to today's video. Today's going to be a bit of a shorter one. This shocker how to use video will be shorter just because shocker's not too tricky to use. You know, he has a relatively easy rotation for high damage. You can either get to that SP3, then for longer fights get to that SP3, get that Energize, multiple SP1s up to 150 vibro charges, and then throw your SP2 for that long passive stun and throw his heavy. That's basically how he works for the long ones. But for the short fights, lots of SP1s, get to that couple SP1s, one or two, get to 100 vibro charges, throw the SP2, charge your heavy for as long as it can take until those vibros are gone, and then throw a heavy attack and it does massive damage. But that will all be in the gameplay. We'll have one shorter fight with Winter Soldier, one with his synergies and one without, just to show you his damage, and then that'll be it. You know, you can use him in lots of different areas, which we'll talk about a bit more getting in. So let's jump in as we always do. Sig ability: whenever he is stunned or the opponent gains a prowess, he gets 3 vibro charges. And Shocker's first SP1 in each fight costs 10 to 100% less power. So obviously if you're doing the short rotation, you can get 2 SP1s out for 1 bar of power, then an SP2. So that's really nice. I am actually going to awaken mine very shortly. And then abilities, always active. He has immunity to shock and concussions and reduces the duration of incoming stuns by 50%. The Limber Mastery is removed if the opponent has it. And Shocker can't land critical hits, but all attacks have armor penetration equal to his critical rating. So this is really good for Mr. Sinister. Nodes like... can't think of the name of the node, where if you crit, they regen 90% of that damage. And then finally, that's all that's active. God, I'm really not getting this very smooth. Vibro-shock charges, maximum of 100, unless you throw your SP3, then it's 150. But landing or being struck by a light or medium grants you 1 indefinite vibro charge. At 50, when he dashes forward, if they're blocking, he's passively unblockable. Then he breaks that block, he'll consume 20 charges. So what you want to do is try not to hit into that block if you're in the short fights like Battlegrounds, because you will lose 20 vibro charges, which are quite, you know, out of 100 is quite a lot. You know, you're looking at around 20% there. And then if he's struck while he's unblockable, it removes 50 vibro-shock charges. So there, just got to be careful that when intercepting, you're not getting hit while unblockable. 50 plus vibro-shock charges. If Shocker be struck by a special attack, consume 25 charges to auto-block the whole attack. I'll show a bit more of that in the Winter Soldier, the second Winter Soldier fight. His medium attacks have 2% chance to remove a prowess up to 100%. So if he's got 50 plus vibro, every hit removes a prowess. And plus 50% or 0.5% chance per shock vibro shock to inflict a stun debuff. So obviously if you get to 100, that then gives you, I believe, 25%. Or at 50, it's 25%. And then finally, charging a heavy attack consumes a vibro shock charge every 0.05 seconds and can be charged until all shock charges are gone. The final hit gains 3000 attack rating per vibro shock. So obviously you consume all the vibro shocks to let out one big heavy. His special one gives you 25 vibro shock charges. At 50, it's unblockable. And there's a 1% chance per vibro shock charge to inflict a stun debuff for 3 seconds, which can be quite useful if you're getting off multiple heavies. His special 2 inflicts a physical vulnerability and a stun passive. This is what gives you that really long stun to charge and let off your big damage. These effects are not affected by ability accuracy and are removed once the opponent is struck 3 times. So if you do a little combo before charging, it will unfortunately be removed. And then finally, while you gain 100% Energize passive until he reaches 2 bars of power. So this allows you to get to SP1s quicker. And while that Energize is active, he gets vibro shock charges max of 150. So as I said, long fights, we'll explain it a bit more in the gameplay, and short fights, but there's some nice ones in there. With Spider-Man on the team, 50 plus vibro shock charges. They are 50% more likely to activate a special attack, so a strong taunt basically. with one of the other sinister villains, or Spider-Verse villains. When fighting Spider-Verse heroes, you gain 250 critical resistance. And it's plus 500 against Spider-Verse heroes. My apologies for that. That's with Scorpion, who's a very great champ. No safe is safe. Ant-Man, final hit of special 1, gains 5% attack. But for Shocker, while unblockable, you gain 25% attack rating, which again is very, very nice. And then with Spider-Man and a mystery champ, Shocker gets shock debuffs for every medium attacked. Medium attacks inflict the damage over time debuff, dealing 20% of attack over 2 seconds, which is a very nice one to just inflict shocks. And then finally, Spidey Symbiote, activating a special attack, inflicts a 50% cowardice for Shocker. So that's all it is for the gameplay, or for the sort of informational bits here. Let's jump into the gameplay and show you a bit more how he works. So here's the gameplay. As I mentioned, this Shocker is very, very easy. 2 ways of playing. This first little clip is going to be the quick way for battlegrounds or short fights. You're going to want to come in, throw as many SP1s as you can. I would recommend 2 or 3. If you're awakened, then you only have to do 2 bars of power for 3 blocks, for 3 SP1s. And if he's not, or you haven't got 100% SIG, you don't. So what I'm going to do here, throw as many SP1s as I can, 2 or 3. Then I'm going to get up to my SP2. And then I'll have about 100, I should have about 100 vibro charges. So there's another 75. And then charging up to my SP2 should put on around 25 hits. And then I'll throw my SP2 for that long passive stun, where I can charge up my, charge all the way up to using all of my vibro charges. And then once I've done that, I'll let off a massive SP2. So you can see there when you dive in, that was an accident, but it's a good way of showing. When you dive in there and Winter Soldier was blocking, I lost 20 charges, so I've got to go back in, try and get to 100 again and throw my SP2. So I do not play this absolutely smoothly, or as smoothly as I might have liked, but the second clip will be a lot more smoother again with Winter Soldier. This first one is without synergies and the second one is. So here we go, SP2. Big SP2, passive stun, charge all of those 100 charges. So you just hold the heavy attack until all those vibro charges are gone. Let it off, and 146k damage on that rotation. So that's enough for battlegrounds. So let's now jump into there are synergies on this next clip. So this is the clip here. You can see the shocks being put on from that stealthy Spider-Man Stark Enhanced. So you see now SP3 to get that Energize, and then let him throw his SP2, obviously trying to keep it smooth. SP2 and then SP1. With that SP1, then I want to throw another SP1, get this all the way up to 150 charges. What first I'm going to do is get him now, try and bait his special 2, so I can show you guys what it looks like when he's auto-blocking. So hopefully this Winter Soldier will stop being so annoying and just throw his... There it is. So you can see I let it hit me, he just auto-blocks it anyway. So here you want to get to those special ones, more special ones. It puts the stuns on, which really help you out. The Energize gets you to special ones double as fast with that 100% Energize. I want to keep throwing my SP1s over and over again until I'm up to 150 vibro charges. So one more will do it. And then now build to my SP2. And I'll let off an SP2 worth about 202,000 damage. So those 50s are only putting you on about 50k damage, but that can be the difference in a longer fight. So hopefully this video has helped you out. You can use Shocker in all different kinds of format, content, battlegrounds, short fights, long fights, and with that heavy attack node is very good. But thank you guys so much for watching today. Hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next how to use video. Goodbye.